All right. So we're diving deep into maternity support worker interview prep today.
Absolutely.
We're going to go through a career guide, an interview guide,
Yeah.
and some really neat RoleCatcher insights. So
Right.
you can not only answer the questions they're going to ask you, but really ace this interview.
Yeah.
And, it's a really, it's a growing field too.
It is.
Did you know it's actually projected to grow by 12% in the next few years?
That's a lot of opportunity for
Yeah,
sure.
it's a lot of opportunity. So first things first.
Yeah.
What does a maternity support worker even do?
Yeah.
The career guide that we have paints a really
Yeah.
interesting picture here.
It's a really rewarding role.
Yeah.
And it goes, way beyond just kind of like assisting.
Right.
You're really like a core part of the
Yeah.
nursing and midwifery team.
Yeah.
And you're providing this really comprehensive care
Yeah.
throughout the whole pregnancy and postpartum journey.
Yeah, you're assisting with births,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you're also educating new moms on breastfeeding and newborn care and even providing emotional support during what can be a really intense time.
Absolutely. It's such a pivotal time in people's lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So before we even get to the interview questions, though,
Okay.
I kind of want to touch on how RoleCatcher
Yeah.
can give you a serious edge here.
Yeah.
Because, applying for jobs online, it can feel like such a black box.
Can you just you submit your CV and then nothing?
Yeah, and you never know if a real person even looked at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so RoleCatcher is so cool because it helps you to tailor your CV to each specific job.
Yes.
It scores it against the requirements they're looking for, and it even helps you get noticed by employers who are actively looking for someone with your skills.
Yeah.
It's like having a personalized career assistant.
Totally.
But it's powered by AI.
Right. And unlike
those generic AI tools that are out there,
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's made specifically for job seekers.
Yeah.
And it has this huge database of
Yeah.
career and skill guides, plus all these interview questions, the ones we're going to dive into today.
Okay, so are you ready to tackle some of these questions?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, so the interview guide that we have here highlights 9
Hey.
key questions that are almost guaranteed to come up in some form or another
Yeah.
in a maternity support worker interview.
Okay.
So question number 1.
Yeah.
Describe your experience working in a maternity care setting.
Okay.
Now, the guide mentions that they're really looking for tangible experience here.
Right.
Paid or volunteer.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be paid experience.
So it's really about showcasing your passion and
Yeah.
commitment to the field.
Okay.
Even if you haven't had a paid position yet,
Mhm.
think about anything you've done that's kind of volunteer work. Yeah.
Internships, or even just personal experiences that demonstrate you understand what this environment is.
Right.
Okay.
Did you volunteer at a birthing center?
Yeah.
Did you help a friend through her pregnancy?
Mm-hmm.
Even those experiences can show
Right.
initiative and empathy.
Totally. And remember, specific examples are key.
Okay.
Don't just say you're passionate.
Yeah.
Show them.
Yeah.
Talk about a time when you assisted with a prenatal visit
Yeah.
or provided emotional support during labor or helped with breastfeeding.
Okay.
Give those tangible examples.
And I love this.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher actually has this really cool feature
Oh, yeah.
where you can input your experiences
Okay.
and it will analyze them against common keywords
Interesting.
that are used in job descriptions for maternity support workers.
That's cool.
So you can really make your answers pop.
Yeah. You're speaking their language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2.
How do you ensure the safety and well-being of both the mother and baby during labor and delivery?
Okay. Getting a bit more technical.
Yeah, this one's getting a bit more technical.
They want to see that you have knowledge of
Yeah.
safety protocols and procedures.
Mm-hmm.
So think about things like monitoring fetal heart rate,
Right.
recognizing any signs of potential complications, and just communicating effectively with the medical team.
Yeah, the interview guide really stresses
Yeah.
clear communication and quick thinking in emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever been in a situation where you had to act fast and follow procedures
Yeah.
to ensure safety?
Did you ever witness something where you had to alert the midwife or doctor,
Yeah.
or maybe you assisted with the procedure that required really strict precision and adherence to safety guidelines?
Okay.
Those are the types of examples that'll really stand out.
Got it.
Yeah.
And again, this is where RoleCatcher can be really helpful.
Uh-huh.
You can actually get feedback
Oh, wow.
on your response,
Yep.
ensuring that it hits all the key points
Yeah.
that employers look for in this role.
It's like having a mock interview with an expert.
Totally. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, let's move on to question number 3.
Okay.
This one is, how do you support new mothers in the postpartum period?
Okay.
So this is all about empathy and practical support.
So think about all the emotional and physical challenges that new mothers face.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable offering reassurance, listening to their concerns, and providing like evidence-based advice on things like breastfeeding, newborn care, and postpartum recovery?
It's like being a resource for them.
Totally.
During a time that could feel really overwhelming.
And the career guide even mentions how important it is to connect mothers with resources in the community, like support groups or postpartum doulas.
Totally.
Yeah.
So think about your own experiences. Have you helped a friend navigate postpartum depression?
Right.
But you assisted with like breastfeeding challenges. Even those personal experiences can be so valuable here.
As long as you demonstrate that you understand the challenges and that you can be that source of support.
And don't forget, you can always use RoleCatcher to kind of see how your answer stacks up against real job descriptions and get personalized feedback.
That's cool.
To make it even stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, on to question number 4.
All right.
This one is, how do you handle difficult situations with patients or their families?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This one can be tricky.
It can, because everyone has different communication styles. Yeah. And emotions can run really high in maternity care.
Absolutely.
So the key here is showing them that you can remain calm, that you can communicate clearly and respectfully, and find solutions while still prioritizing the well-being of the patient.
The interview guide suggests mentioning like specific strategies you use for conflict resolution, like active listening or involving a supervisor when necessary.
It's good to have those tools in your belt.
Yeah. It's also important to highlight your empathy. Even if you're dealing with a really like challenging situation.
You're still trying to understand the perspective of the patient and their family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So have you ever had to like mediate a disagreement or navigate a really difficult conversation in a caregiving setting?
Right.
Think about how you approach that and what you learned from that experience.
Because those real-life examples are going to resonate with those interviewers.
And remember, RoleCatcher can help you to analyze those experiences and frame them in a way that really highlights your problem-solving skills.
It's like having a coach in your corner.
Right. Okay, so let's actually pause here for a moment.
Okay.
We'll tackle the remaining interview questions in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
But before we go, I just want us to like reiterate that RoleCatcher is such an incredible resource.
It is.
For anyone prepping for a job interview.
It can really help you tailor that CV practice, those answers. And even get noticed by those employers.
So we'll be back soon with more interview tips and insights.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
It is. Welcome back. We're in the thick of these maternity support worker interview questions now.
Yeah, we're getting to the good stuff.
Yeah, and we got some really juicy ones coming up.
Yeah, these next few really get to the heart of like decision-making and critical thinking.
Yeah.
Which are so important in maternity care.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready to dive back in?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, question number 5. Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision in a maternity care setting?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, this one's all about like showcasing your judgment under pressure.
So think about a time where you had to like weigh different options, maybe consider potential risks, and ultimately make a choice that impacted the care of a mother or a baby. It doesn't have to be like a life or death situation. Even something like advocating for a mom's birth plan when there's pushback, that can be a great example.
Totally. The interview guide also highlights the importance of like really clearly explaining your thought process.
Walk them through how you gathered information, who you consulted, and what factors you prioritized.
Yeah, it's like showing them that you can think on your feet and make like informed decisions, even in challenging situations.
Absolutely.
And this is another spot where I think RoleCatcher can be really helpful. Because you can actually practice your answer and get AI-powered feedback on how clearly you're communicating that decision-making process.
I like that.
Yeah. You know, it's speaking of like career insights, the career guide actually touches on this growing trend of patient-centered care.
Oh, yeah, that's huge these days.
There's all about like respecting individual needs and preferences.
Right. It's like a shift from just following protocols to really like partnering with the families that you're supporting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about this difficult decision, try to weave in how you considered the mother's wishes and values.
It shows that you're not just task-oriented.
Exactly.
Yeah, you understand the importance of that personalized care.
All right, on to question number 6.
Okay.
How do you prioritize the needs of multiple patients in a busy environment?
Oh, yeah.
So think about like a hectic day, maybe in the labor and delivery unit or postpartum ward, where you've got like a lot going on at once.
Totally.
This question's all about your organizational skills, time management, and adaptability.
Yeah. The interview guide recommends that you highlight the specific strategies you use to stay on top of things. Do you make lists?
Yeah.
Do you use a time blocking system? Do you delegate effectively?
Okay.
Have those answers ready.
Yeah. So think about a time when you successfully juggled multiple responsibilities.
Yeah.
Maybe you had to assist with a birth.
Yeah.
While also monitoring another patient.
Right.
And answering call lights.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
How did you manage all of that?
Right.
What systems did you have in place?
What systems did you have in place?
Oh, yeah.
And this ties in really nicely with another point that the career guide makes.
Okay.
It talks about the importance of continuous learning in this field.
Oh, that's huge.
So even if you don't have all the answers yet, showing that you're eager to learn and improve your skills can make a big impression.
Because maternity care is always evolving.
Yes.
So that growth mindset is key.
Okay. Question number 7.
Right.
Can you describe your experience with breastfeeding support?
Okay.
Now, this is a big one.
It is.
Because breastfeeding is such a crucial part of postpartum care.
So even if you don't have a ton of experience, highlight any knowledge you've gained through training, research, or even like personal experience.
Right.
The interview guide suggests mentioning that you're familiar with different breastfeeding positions, latch techniques, and troubleshooting methods.
Okay, so think about common challenges that new mothers face.
Right.
Like latch difficulties or milk supply concerns.
Yeah, how would you approach those?
Yeah. What resources would you recommend?
Yeah, and remember, authenticity goes a long way.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a breastfeeding expert, but just show genuine empathy and a willingness to help.
Totally.
That'll make a big difference.
And again, RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually use it to research specific breastfeeding challenges and best practices.
That's awesome.
Okay. Question number 8.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with newborn care?
All right.
So this one's all about your practical skills and your comfort level with handling babies.
Yeah. So think about all aspects of newborn care, from diapering and feeding to bathing and soothing.
Right.
The interview guide suggests demonstrating that you understand safe sleep practices, recognizing signs of illness, and just providing that basic care while maintaining a calm and nurturing demeanor.
Even if your experience is limited, you can still talk about what you've learned through coursework or volunteering.
Or even just observing experienced caregivers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's another area where RoleCatcher can be helpful.
Yeah.
You can search their database for specific newborn care skills and get personalized feedback on how to highlight those skills.
I love that feature.
In your interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 9.
All right. Last one.
This is the last one of the 9 key questions.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience working with diverse patient populations?
Okay, that's a good one.
So this is all about your cultural competency and your ability to provide like inclusive and respectful care.
The healthcare field is becoming increasingly diverse.
Yes.
So it's so important to demonstrate that you understand and are sensitive to different cultural beliefs, practices, and communication styles.
Yeah. The interview guide recommends providing specific examples of how you've adapted your care to meet the needs of diverse patients.
Have you worked with interpreters? Have you used visual aids? Have you taken the time to like learn about different cultural perspectives on pregnancy and childbirth?
Okay, so it's about going beyond just like providing care.
Yeah.
And showing that you're really committed to creating this welcoming and inclusive environment for everyone.
It's all about that sense of belonging.
Yes.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher can be an amazing resource here too.
Yeah.
You can research specific cultural considerations related to maternity care.
Yeah.
And get personalized feedback.
I love that.
On how to incorporate that knowledge.
That's awesome.
Into your answers.
Yeah. It's like having a cultural sensitivity expert right there in your pocket.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But there's a few more things I want to touch on that can really help you stand out in this interview.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
I'm
excited. All right, so we tackled those 9 key questions.
We did, yeah.
But I think it's important to go beyond just the questions and answers and really dive into some broader career insights.
Okay.
That can kind of add some depth to your answers.
Yeah, it's not just about reciting facts, right? It's about showing that you understand the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
Of what it means to be a maternity support worker.
Yeah. And the career guide that we have gives us some interesting food for thought here.
Okay.
For example, it talks about the emotional demands of the job.
Oh, yeah.
You're with families during these incredibly intense moments.
Yeah.
And that can definitely take a toll.
It's not all sunshine and baby smiles.
It's not, no.
You're dealing with people's anxieties, their fears, even grief sometimes.
Right. It takes a special kind of resilience to work in this field.
Yeah.
So think about how you would answer a question about handling those emotional challenges.
Yeah.
Maybe you have some personal experience with mindfulness techniques.
Right.
Or, about support systems for caregivers.
Yeah.
Weaving that in shows that you're self-aware
Totally.
and proactive about your well-being.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
It's not just about caring for others.
Right.
It's also about caring for yourself.
Absolutely. So you can show up as your best self.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
And here's something else the career guide really emphasizes.
Okay.
Is the long-term career paths.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a dead-end job.
It's not.
There are tons of opportunities for growth.
So even if you're starting as a maternity support worker, you could go on to become a midwife, a nurse practitioner, a lactation consultant.
Wow.
The possibilities are endless.
Okay.
So sharing those aspirations in the interview shows that you're ambitious and that you're really invested in this field for the long haul.
Right.
So maybe mention some specific areas that you're interested in and how this role kind of aligns with those long-term goals.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of standing out,
let's
circle back to RoleCatcher for a sec.
Yes.
Remember that reverse matching feature we talked about?
Yeah.
Where employers can actually find you based on your skills?
That's a game changer.
It is a game changer.
Yeah. Instead of just hoping your CV gets seen, you're putting yourself in front of employers who are actively seeking candidates with your skill set.
That's huge.
It is.
Okay, so besides nailing those interview questions, make sure you've got a solid RoleCatcher profile set up.
Yeah, absolutely. That can make all the difference in getting noticed and landing that dream job.
Now, before we wrap up this whole deep dive,
I
want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm ready.
Remember that this interview is a two-way street.
Oh, that's a good one.
They're getting to know you. But you're also getting a feel for them and the workplace.
Right. Don't be afraid to ask some thoughtful questions. Yeah. About the team, the work environment, anything that's important to you.
Yeah. It shows you're engaged.
Yeah.
And it helps you figure out if this is the right fit for you.
Absolutely.
Not just the other way around.
Go in there confident, prepared.
Yes.
And ready to have a genuine conversation.
I love it. And remember, we're cheering you on.
We are.
RoleCatcher has your back with all the tools and resources.
You got this.
You need to rock this interview and launch your career in maternity care.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap on this whole deep dive.
Thanks for joining.
See you next time.